Happy Monday from the road. Hey, big news. The guitarist from Weird Al Yankovic, Jim Kimo West, is going to be my special guest Saturday after Thanksgiving. He's a great slack key Hawaiian player, too. If you didn't get a chance to hear him, here's a little bit. Hey, hello there. We had some really fun gigs. Well, I tell you, it's so nice to get on the road again. And more coming up: Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Virginia. So hope to catch some of you there. And right now, though, we are on our way to visit my niece Sylvie and her husband Vinay. They have a new member of the family in the hopper, so we're really looking forward to seeing them and hanging out a bit. So I'll leave you with a little bit more of Jim Kimo West and our nice visit we had together. See ya. Just in time,
just in time for the leaf blower.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm going to have a word with the chainsaw over here. Hey, we're trying to record over here.
Well,
That's a sweet tune. Hi, Brian. Nice accompaniment to the songs.
I'm sorry.
Could I talk you into just like...
Yes, I'm done.
Give us 10 minutes.
Sorry.
Stories about whalers came to... So it starts like this.
electric ending now.
That's wonderful. You know, I love this kind of music. It's like bluegrass.
Yeah, in a
it's
lot of
like
ways.
bluegrass in this. It's so inclusive.
Yes,
that You can
exactly.
tell where it's going to go.
You can tell where it's going to
You
go.
can have professionals playing with beginners, and everyone can
Exactly, right.
smile and have fun. And it brings together all the
Exactly.
generations.
It does,
So
it
I
is.
think that every place in America should teach Hawaiian music or bluegrass.
Yes.
One or the other or both.
It's true. It is very inclusive. It's like it's easy to learn. There's not a lot of chords, and I tell people when I'm teaching slack key, you know, if you I'm using an open G tuning, and then if you lower this down to C, and then you fret, then you've got a. So if you learn those your chords, just your basic chords like we were doing there, you learn those basic chords in those two tunings, then with a capo, you can play along in any key. Somebody says E, I just go to C, I put the capo here, I'm in E, or whatever. If I want to play in B flat, I take the G tuning and put it there. So and that's what I do. If I'm going to a jam, like what they call Kani Kapila, jam session in Hawaii, I just use my open G and then what they call the drop C and a capo and whatever anybody calls that. And usually they're not going to call out like E flat or anything with Hawaiian music. You know, if you call out a song in E flat, they all give you what they call stink eye. It's like, how did guy think he is? You know, E flat. No, but you don't. But you know, you can play in any key with those two tunings and just a capo. And so usually when I'm doing workshops for slack key and stuff, I just try and teach people those basic chords in those two tunings, and then they can.
Are you doing any online teaching if people want to learn?
You know, I
slack key?
haven't really. I don't have any real program, but sometimes people ask me, and I set up a lesson and do it like that. I don't have any regular program, but if people ask, I'm happy to do it. It's always good to do it either in person or with the camera, with the Zoom or something, because you can really see what's happening. I know growing up as a kid, of course, now we have all the YouTube. This whole new generation of incredible players are all learned from YouTube, right? Because you can take any video and you can slow it down. You can see anything. Back in the day when I first started playing, when I was like 12, the closest thing I had, every once in a while, like Glenn Campbell would be on TV. I'd be like, oh, what's he doing? or Roy Clark or one of those guys. I'd be like, oh my God, Chet Atkins. I'd just be glued to I riveted to the TV, and it was just like, then it was gone,
Yeah.
And every so often they'd do a close-up, Some of these guitar guests on the shows, like Hee Haw and Roy Clark, and they'd do a close-up, and it's like, oh my God, what's he doing? And we didn't have YouTube,
Right.
but it was like, that was the closest thing we had, was that. And I remember that was just like, that I'd just be riveted to the TV when there would be a guitar player on there. It's like, especially when they do a close-up, it's just incredible. Nowadays, everybody's got YouTube, and it's like anything, you can learn anything.
It's really different. I remember when I first heard Chet Atkins play two songs at once on a TV show, and I went, whoa, what is that? And so I tried to remember as much as I could, and so I got it kind of worked out.
Wow.
So he played Yankee Doodle,
Yeah.
like this, and then
Oh, yeah.
at the same
Oh,
time. So Yankee Doodle and Dixie at the same time. And so I got it worked out. And years later, when I played it for him, I fingered it entirely differly.
Really?
I found the notes,
You just figured it out, but...
Yeah, from the sound.
From the sound, yeah. Wow.
Something like that.
That's great.
And then I added Twinkle Twinkle. Anyway, it goes on like that. So
that's crazy. You got to kind of split your brain in multiple places. Well, with slack key, I know. A lot of times we are. It's a simpler version of that, but we kind of try to have bass going. Usually, it's more of an alternating bass. We try to have a simple bass going while the melody's playing and keep it going. And we sometimes, some players make it a little more complex, but generally with traditional slack key, it's pretty simple, like an alternating bass.
Yeah.
Like I did a song where I had like a like a boogie woogie slack key, where it has like, but it has a at the same time like. Anyway, something like that,
Yeah.
that kind of, two different things going on at once type of thing.
Well, some of your recordings have had some different music on it, really beautiful stuff, but not necessarily Hawaiian.
Yeah.
So you branched out as well. Can you play one of the other tunes that
Well, let's
comes
see.
to mind?
What do you think? There's so many. Yeah, a lot of on my Guitar Stories records, I would do some tunes that were definitely not Hawaiian. Of course, a lot of those are kind of ensemble type pieces, where you have bass and everything going at once.
Right, that's why I was asking if you can do some of them.
Yeah,
they were lovely.
There are. I'm trying to think of which ones I have played before. There are a few like that. But let me try and think now. What can I try to think of? On the last one, there was one that I did. Well, that was actually kind of Hawaiian. There's one called Frangipani from my last album, but that actually is kind of a little more Hawaiian sounding. But
okay.
I'll come up with something. I'll think of something here in a minute. But
While he's thinking, Ariel, did you know that there's a movie coming out and an actor, is going to be portraying Kimo?
No, I didn't know that.
well, it's Al has a movie coming out, and it's what they, a biopic, right, about about him, especially his early days. But it's sort of a tongue-in-cheek biopic.
It's a Weird Al It's a Weird Al bio.
It's called Weird. And,
okay.
And Daniel Radcliffe is playing Al, Harry Potter. The guy who played Harry Potter.
Oh, no kidding! Yeah. Wow.
And all the press releases are completely funny, and and Al's one of his first comments was that I'm so honored to have Daniel Radcliffe playing me in the film, and I'm sure this will be the role that he'll be remembered for generations. But I didn't, I didn't really ask about, if they were going to have the band in it or anything, and I didn't realize it. And then I something came up on Facebook where somebody had put my name in it, and it was, I guess the actor's mom was like, "I'm so proud of Jack that he got the role to play Jim West in the movie." And I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What?" And so I Googled his name. His name's Jack Lancaster, and it's like, "Oh my God, there's somebody playing me in the movie."
Wow. All right.
I mean, that's pretty crazy when
I
you think
think you've
about it.
won up to just about everyone watching this that you have somebody portraying you in a movie.
I know,
Yes.
that is just insane. Yeah. Well, with Al, I mean, he's been around for so long, and we've had so many incredible. We had a Billboard #1 record a few years ago, like 2015 or something.
Yeah.
Actual #1, and been on The Simpsons and in Mad Magazine. I mean, come on, Mad Magazine, man.
Oh,
I mean, I'm in Mad
neat.
Magazine. Can you believe that? It's like
movie.
I mean, yeah, I know. Man.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, Mad Magazine. I mean, that would do like wow.
Oh, me too. I loved that.
I loved it. And
Spy versus Spy.
Yeah, and the caricatures were so amazing, and the all the political commentary. I mean, I was only like 9 or something, but I loved it. It's like to think later on I'd actually be in Mad. Now, of course, I think they finally went out of publication, but yeah, it's been a crazy long history. It's been like 40 years I've been playing with them. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
That's insane, but he's a great guy, really great guy to work for, and of course you get to play like every style in the world. I mean.
What do you think we give it a little bow?
A bow? Okay, absolutely. Here we go. Mahalo!
Thank you for watching.